Mr. Pule Mabe, a very good morning to you, sir, and welcome.
Morning and morning to your viewers.
First and foremost, tell us, how did the weekend's campaign go?
Well, I must say that this weekend was quite a great success. Communities generally are beginning to respond with greater enthusiasm to the Thuma Mina campaign, as it seeks to reconnect us with communities, allow us to also initiate faster resolutions to their own problems. And that has worked. I mean, there's a lot of work that has happened around, for instance, the match schools, where we had to deal with structural problems, so that in those part of our urban and rural areas, we begin to resolve those and create conducive learning environments for our students. But beyond that, I mean, there was also a massive distribution of sanitary towels, especially during this Women's Month in a lot of other communities. And there's been a greater sense of also working around demolishing your illegal dumping sites, you know, where you could be able to create cleaner environments in communities. So across all the 53 regions in the Republic of South Africa, we had some activities going on. Most importantly is that at the conclusion of every activity, you'll then have community meetings, so that you could be able to take stock on whether the program has been able to achieve its intended objectives and what are the things that need to be done. You will appreciate that where we are now, the Thuma Mina campaign is in full steam. So the rollout is ongoing. So it's not a once-off event.
53 regions nationwide. What was the turn-up like?
No, the turn-up was quite great. I must also make your viewers aware that one of the things we achieved this weekend, working with the relevant state institutions, was the distribution of over 1,000 title deeds.
Title deeds?
Yes.
1,000?
Yes, over 1,000 of them. I mean, massive. So
was the focus generally in Gauteng, or was
No, it was all over. You will know in Gauteng, the province already has the rapid land release program, which is ongoing with greater speed. When President Ramaphosa was here to launch the Thuma Mina campaign, he said that Fridays are going to be title deed Fridays. Now, this is now becoming sort of a religion. I mean, the only way through which you can restore the pride of our people who have been dispossessed from owning land and all of that is to be able to address that by giving them these title deeds. So we are seeing, I mean, the response is quite greater. People are asking us, people are sending messages to Lituli House. What is happening? What are the upcoming lined up events for Thuma Mina? We would like to participate in all of that.
Some would suggest that the Thuma Mina campaign, and of course what the ANC is doing now, was supposed to be done almost 20 years ago.
Yes.
Why now and just before the elections?
Well, there's quite a lot of things that happened over the past 20 years. We would have had Imvuselelo, which was about renewing our own values and ethos and reconnecting us with communities. We have had a lot of volunteer programs that we ran. I mean, we had ANC every day. We now have Thuma Mina, which is about reconnection. So now the ANC has throughout time carried forward programs that are supposed to deepen its reconnection with communities, which is what the Thuma Mina campaign is all about. What is now happening is that you are now able to even develop sort of a roster of some of these challenges. It's a pothole that needs to be fixed, because the mantra is fight corruption in those local municipalities or in institutions where this raises its ugly head. Make sure that you use the relevant state bodies and institutions to be able to deal with that. But as you do that, when there's a pothole, close it. When there's a road that needs to be re-graveled, do that. I mean, in CDBing, for instance, you would have had even big construction companies even assisting with their own yellow fleet. So it's quite encouraging that you even have some of the patriotic businesses in our own country who are also beginning to say, when my yellow fleet is not working over this weekend, I would make it available to assist do this work. We had people, they clean cemeteries. I mean, what more? You know, we Africans go to cemeteries to conduct quite a number of activities. We go there for rituals, to bury our loved ones and all of that. Now, when you begin seeing ANC volunteers going out even to clean those cemeteries, going out to clean pavings in their own communities, ensuring that we have got working community policing forums, dealing with levels of crimes in our own communities. And this now begins to inculcate a greater sense of volunteerism. And it is happening at a time when both Tata Nelson Mandela and Mama Albertina Sisulu would have turned 100.
Yes. Now, let's move away from Thuma Mina campaign.
Yes.
Now, the expropriation without compensation hearings concluded this weekend. Now,
Yes.
the president did indicate that the ANC will support the motion.
Yes. Yes.
What is this? What do you make of this process? And were they very successful in terms of the land hearings that were concluded?
Well, I mean, we have observed the greater enthusiasm once more expressed by members of the public across different communities in the Republic of South Africa, who have unequivocally stated the desire to see land being expropriated without compensation.
Yes.
Now, as custodians of participatory democracy, we in the African National Congress believes that the best way to sustain democracy in this country is to listen to the voice of our people. They have spoken, whether in Limpopo, out in Vembe, in Gauteng, out in Tshwane, in the Western Cape, out in Khayelitsha, in KwaZulu-Natal, out in Inanda, and in many parts of the country, in the Eastern Cape, in Mpumalanga, everywhere. The voice that has been coming out louder is that land is an emotive issue. Expropriating it without compensation and returning it to its rightful owners will be able to make sure that we can sustain the democratic dispensation in our country.
But there are those that suggest that the president jumped the gun because the hearings has not finished. It only finished this past weekend.
Well, the president, speaking as the president of the ANC, did not jump any gun. Because the ANC, as a party, as a political party that has got interest in the affairs of the republic, ought to express itself. The president of the ANC, empowered by the Constitution of the African National Congress, has got full powers to pronounce on policy positions taken by the African National Congress. You would know that when he was speaking, the ANC was concluding its two-day Lekgotla. So he was restating what was the conclusion of the Lekgotla. The Secretary General of the ANC, again empowered by the same Constitution of the African National Congress, the following day after the president of the ANC had spoken, then went on to the public to now outline what are the programmatic areas that the ANC is going to be focusing on as it relates to this view on the expropriating land without compensation. I must state it once more that we are not going to relent on this one. We are going to make sure that we push ahead with this one. We join hands with the people of this country and make sure that it ultimately happens in our lifetime.
I wish I had more time to engage you on this one,
Yes.
Mr. Mabe, but thank you so much for coming into studio.
No,
that
thanks.
was the party's, the ANC's national spokesperson, Mr. Pule Mabe. We now will cross to the media.